it's kind of a fun exercise to take a double album by a musical artist, which 99 times out of 100 should probably not be a double album and probably has some things to trim, and condense it into a single album. It makes you choose songs, and it's just fun to talk about what you end up with. Now, um, the album I'm doing today is Stadium Arcadium by Red Hot Chili Peppers. Came out in 2006, back when people bought rock music. And I listened to the crap out of this. This was my introduction to Red Hot Chili Peppers, believe it or not. I listened to it a lot in the Bahamas when I was there for a month, which is probably a different story, but I actually wore out the the first track, Danny California, on my Walkman, so it like permanently screwed it up on the CD. But I think there's also someone down the street from us in college that like would blast this on like weekends or whatever. You could blast worse music, but so condense this into 14 songs. There's 28 songs on this album, I believe, 14 each, which is a lot. And so cut out a lot of things. I really like these albums, but I actually listened to them recently again. Some of it kind of runs together. It can be a little repetitive or whatever. It doesn't really have like a theme so much, but there's still chunks of this album that I like as chunks. So they are present in this condensed single album as that chunk. So I'll give you an example. The first 5 songs I have are 5 songs that show up on the album in the exact same order. So Danny California, which, hey, the big single. Snow, another single, which also a song I really, really like. That might be the single I like the most. Charlie, which is a good song that they like so much that they actually, I think, had fans make a video for this song. But I also like Charlie a lot. And then Stadium Arcadium. It's kind of hard to explain how I feel about Stadium Arcadium. I get this like real nostalgic feeling of like calmness and serenity when I listen to this song. Even though it doesn't feel like the happiest song in the world, like it just feels like something serene. And then I have Hump to Bump, which is the end of this 5 song section. I'm not the biggest fan of Hump to Bump, but it is some of the more funkier sounding music on this album, and it was a single, so I feel really weird in just pulling it off. So it stays. I have Torture Me, which kind of picks up the pace a little bit. I didn't want to have Slow Cheetah or something like that on this list, so I did pick Torture Me. I think it's kind of a choice between the two at that point. I have Wet Sand, which is the ending suite to the first CD on this album, Jupiter. Wet Sand is like, it's just built, man. It's like an epic song. It starts off slow and builds and builds and builds, and it's just this insane guitar solo and some of the showiest guitar work Frusciante does on the album, full of showy guitar work. And then Hey is right next to that on the album, and it's kind of like a calm downer. And I don't know, I just like it, and I think it fits well with Wet Sand. So a lot of these, like, sometimes I like songs, sometimes I like sequences of songs, like chunks of the album. So that little tiny chunk fits in at the end. And that is a full 8 songs from Jupiter out of 14. So the next 6 are on Mars, or the second of the album. I think I don't like Mars as much, but it's still good. I have Desecration Smile, which technically was a single and is a song I like. I have Tell Me Baby, which maybe one of the top 3 songs on the album, and also a single. I just think it's interesting lyrics, an interesting theme, like talking about all the influx of people coming from all over the place to come to California and try to make it in the entertainment industry, some of which maybe shouldn't be doing that. But it's also a little ominous, right? Like for this song to be said, played by a band, like a well-established rock band, and the lyrics to come from a position of power. It gets a little ominous, like, tell me, baby, what's your story? Where'd you come from? Where you gonna go this time? Tell me, lover, are you lonely? Like, the thing we need is never all that hard to find. Knowing what we know about Anthony Kiedis when it comes to his dating habits. Like, I don't know, that's a little ominous, right? Um, it just seems a little strange. I also have Hard to Concentrate, and I think that might be one of the first, some of the first few songs on the album. I'm not sure if it's the trunk, but I really like Hard to Concentrate. I was just singing in the shower, actually. I definitely, yeah, that song definitely stirred some emotions back in the day when I was listening to it, but never led to anything. But, you know. Also, Make You Feel Better. It's just a little bit different than some of the other songs I could put on this. Kind of maybe like a last selection on this condensed album. Then I have If, which is one of the good slow ones on this one. It's kind of like a little bit different song than some of the other ones on this album. And finally, Death of a Martian. Death of a Martian is, I believe, the end of the album, and it definitely should be the end of this album. It feels like the ending. It is a celebration of the life of the dog they hung out with when they were making some of their most important music. So that is my condensed Stadium Arcadium, cutting it in half. Danny California, Snow, Charlie, Stadium Arcadium, Humpty Bump, Torture Me, Wet Sand, Hey, Desecration Smile, Tell Me Baby, Hard to Concentrate, Make You Feel Better, If, and Death of a Martian. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you really like this album and there are some songs that you want to argue about, like, fucking do it, man. Put in the comments. Do it. Do it.